Hello and welcome back to the Detroit playthrough. It's been a while since the last video, and we're back with Connor, who's about to have a briefing session with Amanda following his rather unsuccessful visit to Kamsky. And it's then going to transition into a scene with Hank. And again, I'm always amazed by the graphics. I love this snow effect, and the close-ups capturing the detail of Brian's face is really good. Obviously, the guy who plays the part of Connor.
After what happened today, the country is
So
on the verge of a
obviously,
civil war.
as we can see, Amanda's very concerned about how the androids are misbehaving and causing tensions between the humans. And of course, what she's trying to learn is what's Connor done? Is Connor at risk of going rogue himself, etc.?
I saw a photo of Amanda at Kamsky's place. She was his teacher.
When Kamsky designed me, he wanted an interface.
Now this is interesting. We've been working on the assumption that Amanda's potentially a real person, but obviously Connor's currently in a sort of electronic constructor, like a matrix, and Amanda is actually a computer program who's been designed to look like the real Amanda who mentored Kamsky. And the interesting thing, of course, is that we know he leaves a back door in things. So that was actually a pretty useful clue of Kamsky from Connor's point of view. But I'm not sure Connor quite gets it just yet. But yeah, some beautiful acting actually from the computer model here, and the mocap system. I mean, I go on about it pretty much every video. The quality of the sound, the special effects, everything really works well, and the actual sort of QTE effects, as I've already mentioned, work pretty well. Anyway, we've had our debrief with Amanda where we've admitted we're maybe not 100% sure, and we're back now with the police station where Hank has just been kicked off the case.
We just need more time, I'm sure.
Hank, you don't get it. This isn't just another investigation. It's a fucking civil war. It's out of our hands now. We're talking about national security here.
Fuck that. You can't just pull the plug now, not when we're so close.
You're always saying you can't stand androids. Jesus, Hank, make up your mind. I thought you'd be happy about this.
We're about to crack the case. I know we can solve it.
It's very interesting to see that Hank has slightly turned around. He's got a bit of respect for androids. He's not 100% trusting, but he thinks maybe androids aren't as bad as he's been assuming. And the police officer, obviously, you can see the chief is wanting to help Hank, but he's not prepared to stick his neck out. Hank, however, is a bit more of a rogue element, so we'll see how he's going to react. So we're going to go have a word with Hank, and we'll see how that progresses the storyline.
We can't just give up like that. I know we could have solved this case.
So you're going back to cyber life?
I have no choice. I'll be deactivated and analyzed to find out why I failed.
What if we're on the wrong side, Connor? What if we're fighting against people who just want to be free?
When the deviants rise up, there will be chaos. We could have stopped it. Now it's too late.
Back at Stratford Tower when that android was shooting at everything that moved, you protected me. You risked your life to save mine. That showed empathy, Connor. And empathy's a human emotion.
I don't know why I did it. I might not be qualified to judge, but you're an outstanding police officer. And a good person.
Well, here comes Perkins, that motherfucker.
I think that's an interesting little exchange there. Hank is starting to believe
I know the answers and
that,
evidence
you
we
know,
collected
maybe the
throughout the
androids
It's all over.
are,
There's
you
no
know, a new
choice.
life form rather
You
than
heard
just
me, Fowler.
machines.
We're off the
And
case.
yeah, he's now decided, obviously, that Connor's right, they could do something about this case.
Listen, Connor.
If I don't solve this case, CyberLife will destroy me. 5 minutes. That's all I ask.
Well, here goes Hank, ruining his career potentially by
Key to the basement.
letting
on my
Connor
desk.
proceed with the case.
Get a move on. I can't distract him forever.
Now you just saw there one of the slight problems with the game where sometimes if you reach for an item, if you don't get it just right, the animation sort of stalls out on you a bit. Anyway, yeah, Hank's picking a fight with Perkins by the looks of it. And up ahead here on the left, we've got one of the prisoners. I think, was it one of the guys from the tower? Now potentially I think you can go in and speak to that guy. Anyway, we got more trouble coming now. I've forgotten his name now, the police officer who doesn't like androids.
Hey, Connor. I'm talking to you, asshole. Where are you going? The asshole, I'm talking to you.
So anyway, we're into the archives, and now we're going to have to interrogate various bits of evidence to try and solve the case. And there's various options you can do down here. I think I've tried a couple of the options, and some are more successful than others. This is actually the second playthrough of the game, or is it the third? Maybe it's the third. And the first two occasions I did much better. On this one, I deliberately went down what I would call a slightly negative path to see how it worked out. With regard to the password there, I can't remember if any of the passwords are correct or just one of them is correct. But yeah, it's quite funny that you're able to guess his password. So anyway, you examine all the bits of evidence, and then by doing various bits and pieces you can actually start interrogating.
One of the deviants that hacked the TV station with Marcus. It must have known where the deviants are hiding.
So there you go. We need to reactivate. We need a part, so we've got to go see if someone else has got the parts. And yeah, it's a bit grim here that you're potentially robbing body parts out of other androids to reactivate. So you can see both androids have damaged components. And I believe in one of the playthroughs I actually interrogated the guy on the left rather than the guy on the right. But obviously we've gone with this guy, so we're going to try and reactivate this one and see how we do. For some reason, yeah, I had to walk away to get the little button to appear, which is a bit frustrating. So, you know, the game's not perfect, it does have a few bits, and also, as I mentioned, it's quite a slow-paced sort of adventure game, and it reminds me a bit of the old-fashioned point-and-click games from the 80s, you know, LucasArts and all that, but with obviously superior graphics. And I love this sort of stuff, but I'm pleased to see the game actually seems to have done quite well, won a load of awards. It's now on the PC, so you can play in lovely 4K and everything. But yeah, I'm not sure it's going to be a mega big seller like, I don't know, Gears of War or Call of Duty or anything, because it is a bit of a niche game. But you know, I love the fact that you've got the human interest story of Kara. You've got the sort of philosophical story, I guess, of you know, free the androids, and then you've got the detective story, and they all interweave in an interesting way. And there are multiple endings. On this particular playthrough, I could actually reload a save point, and I think I got 4 different endings up to a certain point. You know, you can still get 4 different endings, and it's quite near to the end, so that's kind of interesting. But obviously the stuff you do right at the start of the game can actually impact the stuff you do right at the end, so that's pretty cool, and I wish they'd done a better job of that with, for example, Mass Effect. Obviously it's a bit easier here because it's all contained within one game, but yeah, I'd love to see a Detroit Become Human Part 2, either following a different storyline set during the time frame of this game, or maybe even it assumes that you, at least one of the androids, sort of made it out at the end of the game, and then kind of kick off from there, so sort of dealing with the consequence of this game. So anyway, we're trying to find out where Jericho is.
I came to take you home. Give me the location to Jericho.
And as you can see, we're asking where Jericho is.
Yes, of course.
So we're now going to sort of interrogate him to try and get the details.
Marcus? Is that you, Marcus? Don't leave me, Marcus.
Anyway, we now know where Jericho is, so we can solve the case.
I've been dreaming about this since the first second I saw you.
Don't do it, Gavin. I know how to stop the deviants.
You're off the case. And now, it's gonna be definitive.
Now, this is a pretty intense QTE session, which if you succeed, you can knock him out. If you don't do so well, it doesn't end so well for you. Anyway, we've managed to knock him out, although we have taken a hit, and now we're off. Anyway, there you go.
What happened here? Looks like someone's been snooping around. Oh shit. Get
Anyway,
your
see you in the next
now.
video.